Assalamualaikum and welcome back to Tech and Talk log engine series. So लास्ट एपिसोड में हमने डेटा लेयर कंप्लीट कर ली थी, उसको कंट्रोलर में इंजेक्ट करके एक पोस्ट ऐड करके और उस पोस्ट को फैच करके हमने टेस्ट भी कर लिया था। लेकिन जैसे मैंने कहा था लास्ट एपिसोड में कि हमारा पर्पस ये नहीं है कि हम डेटा लेयर को डायरेक्ट इंजेक्ट करेंगे अपने कंट्रोलर्स में, बिकॉज इस तरीके से हमारी जो लॉजिक है, बिजनेस लॉजिक है, वो एक्शन के अंदर रहेगी, जो कि गुड अप्रोच नहीं है फ्रॉम दिस आर्किटेक्चर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। तो हम ये करेंगे कि अपनी बिजनेस लेयर में सर्विसेज ऐड करेंगे और वो सर्विसेज इस डाटा लेयर को कंज्यूम करेंगी और हम उन सर्विसेज को इंजेक्ट करेंगे अपने कंट्रोलर्स में। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मॉडल देख लेते हैं। हमने ऑलरेडी बिजनेस फोल्डर मेंटेन किया हुआ है और इसमें हमने मॉडल्स और इंटरफेसेस का प्रोजेक्ट भी ऐड किया हुआ है। तो पोस्ट मॉडल के लिए हमारे पास वही फील्ड्स होनी चाहिए जो कि हम डिस्प्ले करवाना चाहते हैं या जिनको अपडेट करवाना चाहते हैं। तो उसके लिए हम पोस्ट के मॉडल में आएंगे और यहाँ से ये 3 फील्ड्स उठा के बेसिकली हम अपने बिजनेस मॉडल को और अपने डाटा मॉडल को, जो कि हमारे पोको क्लास है, डिफरेंट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, ताकि फ्रंट एंड पे इंटरेक्शन के लिए हमारा बिजनेस मॉडल यूज़ हो और बैक एंड पे डाटा प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए हमारी पोको क्लास, जो कि पोको ऑब्जेक्ट बनता है, वो यूज़ हो, ठीक है। सो मैंने पोस्ट मॉडल बना लिया। अब आते हैं इंटरफेस में, और इंटरफेसेस में हमारे पास ओके, so we have the iPost service, alright। so इसका नेम जो है सूटेबल नहीं है, इसको हम कर देते हैं सर्विसेज, बिकॉज सर्विसेज इंटरफेसेस हम यहाँ पे इस फोल्डर में रखेंगे। एंड लेट मी अपडेट दैट वन एज वेल, दैट शुड बी कैपिटल सर्विसेज, राइट। सो अब उसी तरह जैसे जेनेरिक रिपोजिटरी बनाई थी, हमारे CRUD ऑपरेशंस भी जेनेरिक सर्विस में होने चाहिए। तो हम एक क्लास बनाते हैं, लेट्स से जेनेरिक सर्विस, राइट, और हम उस सर्विस को बेसिकली यूज़ करेंगे, एक्सटेंड करेंगे हमारी नॉर्मल सर्विसेज में, राइट। सो फॉर दैट रीज़न लेट मी add another, before that one let's just create a generic interface, right? On the services folder, let's create a interface. Let me name it generic service. I am making it public, and same way as we did in iGeneric repository, we are going to say that is a kind of T business model, right? In the repository we called it T entity, right? And the other type will be T data model, and the last one is T key. So basically हम business models को और data models को automapper के थ्रू मैप करवाया करेंगे। That's why I added both of them as generic types here, right? So in the repository we had the get all and add method, so let's only add those two here for now. So first of all is for get all, and let's name it like get all, right? And the other one was add, right? So right now we are just implementing these two in a generic service, right? So let's create a generic service class inside basically we need to create a project as well. So let's create a new project in the business folder. That will be a library project, same net standard library, and let's name it log engine dot business dot services, right? And एक और चीज़ के I also have renamed one of the package that was blog engine dot data dot repositories because कुछ स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक थी, वो भी मैंने चेंज करके रिपोजिटरी में कमिट कर दी हुई है। Alright, so we have created the services project, and let me add a folder and let's name it core, because generic is a class which should be in the core. Generic service, right? And what I have seen that okay, it's net standard 2.0, that's fine. So we have generic service now. Let's make it public, and next thing will be to make sure we are giving same types here. T business model, T data model, and T key, right? And that will be passing into generic service, and we need to add the reference of that project. Hi, generic service, and let's add that one manually. I think I have made some spelling mistake. Okay, we'll see that later. So T business model, T data model, and T key, and now we need to tell where T business model is a class, right? And the same way we need to say that where T data model is also a class. This is how we use generics. Okay, that's now fine. Although I have added the reference, don't know why it's adding again, why Visual Studio is adding this one again, but let's see. I think the project type for the interfaces we mistakenly created different project type, so I think now that should be fine, and now we should be able to add the interface project reference easily. And project reference, alright, so we are good with it now, and the next thing will be to implement the methods in that. Alright, let me target framework. So there was, the project types were .NET Core 3.1 for both interface and model. I had updated that one for NetCenter 2.0. So now the errors are gone. अब जो remaining two errors हैं वो कह रहे हैं कि implement the interface member. So let me add the default implementation. Alright, और इसमें हम बारी बारी अपनी implementation add करते हैं. Right, so first of all we need to add the what we can say, protected, let's say private, not here, sorry, that should be right here. Let's add our generic repository as a property here. Blog engine free context, I think so that one is the required. Alright, and not that one, it should be generic repository like this, and it will take that the data model and the key. Right, and let's name it repository. And the next thing, we will need the same unit of work interface. Right, to make sure we can do the same kind of operations we did in last episode in the controllers. Right, and let's add constructor and inject those services. Generic repository, which is the data model and the key. Generic repository. The next thing is unit of work, right, and also we can map repository with repository. Let's say this is a repository, and repository and unit of work should be equal to unit of work. Right, so now we can add the implementation for get, right, but the thing is, in the output, in the return, we need the business model, but while we are adding the data model, right? So one way is to make this mapping manually, right? We need to write the code, which is not the case here. For these purposes we need some kind of automapper, right? So let's start the implementation so that we can see what I am talking about. So पहले तो हम data entities कहते हैं कि हमने data entities fetch करनी है, जो कि आएंगी हमारे पास await repository dot get async से, right? Okay, and we need to make this method override sync task at all, right? And we need to convert those because these are, you can see the data model, but we need the T business model. So before returning these one, we need to convert them. For that purpose we do use normally we do use automapper, which is a good lightweight library, right? Let me add the reference for that. Automapper, right? So we can add this one here, and we have this one, the stable one. Let us install that one. And another thing is, let's add a folder here to make sure we maintain all the mappings inside it. Mappings like this one, right? So the automapper has been added, you can see that, and now we are able to add those mappings in the mapping folder. Let's do that one in next episode separately. And till now, have a good day. Bye bye.